Today I'm going to give you 10 strategies that you may be able to use when building your post-frame home or barn, so stay tuned. Hi, this is Paul from CountryCraziness.com. If you're interested in post-frame construction, tractors, and homesteading, well, you've come to a good place. Why not subscribe, tap the bell, and join in on the conversation? Most people want to be able to build their post-frame home or barn and build it as big as they can, but we all have limited financial resources. If you're a younger person and you've got a little bit of time to get your project done, I've given you 10 things here that you might want to consider when you're doing your project. Everything that we're talking about involves having good planning up front so that you'll either reduce your costs in the beginning or be able to reduce your costs long term. The number of doors that you use on your barn certainly can affect the cost of what that structure is going to be overall, and if you're going to be using part of it as a living quarters, it's also going to help with your utility costs long term. Number two is don't finish the interior up front if you can do it yourself later on. The cost of the insulation and the interior paneling is quite expensive. Number three is to build the ceiling up. I would recommend building it at least 16 feet tall so that you can allow for a mezzanine to be either built up front or later on down the road. There's a lot of things on the floor that you can easily get up into a mezzanine, and if you build it so that it's got 8 foot of standing height, you can also possibly use it for living space down the road. One of the things I regret doing when I built my barn was not putting a outside door at the top where the mezzanine would be so that I have a fire escape door if I was ever to finish off a mezzanine into living space. The other thing that I wish I had done is to put footers in the locations where I would be putting posts in order to support the mezzanine. The next idea is to lease some of the space. You can very quickly pay off additional square footage on your barn by building it bigger and using a tenant to pay off some of that cost in the short term. The next idea is to limit your initial electrical installation. Put in the size panel that you think you'll need long term, but just limit the amount of wiring that you put in. After all, you're not putting in the walls and the insulation yet, so it's easy to add on the electrical into more areas as you have a better understanding of exactly what you're going to do and exactly what you're going to need. The next one, and this is a big one, is consider the location of the barn on your property. The closer you can get the structure to existing drives, the more money you're going to save. The cost of installing a drive and the gravel is very expensive. This is one of the easiest ways that you can save money. The next is kind of obvious, but do as much of the work as you possibly can. With YouTube showing you all the different things you can do these days and having friends, there's no reason why a lot of this work can't be done yourself. And the next one is to buy the materials yourself. If you buy them through a contractor, chances are they're going to mark up the material on top of what they're paying. And while you're doing that, investigate kit manufacturers like Menards. I'll put a link as to how they work their systems and how you can estimate and design a building and buy the whole package from them. It could be cheaper for you to buy all the materials from one manufacturer than to buy it piecemeal. Buy as many things as you can with a credit card that gives you cash back. Pay the bill at the end of the month with the cash that you'd use laying it out forward. There's no faster way to save money when you're building something. And that's it. Leave me your comments down below as to ideas that you have on how you can save money when building a post-frame home and barn.